It's not a supplement. It's not a workout. The single biggest lever most people are missing for losing belly fat costs $0 and takes 0 extra minutes in your day. It's just when and how you eat the protein you're probably already eating. Now, here's why this matters more than people give it credit for. For basically all of human history, protein was hard to come by. You hunted it, foraged it, fought for it. Your body evolved in a world where protein was scarce and precious, so it built in some very smart systems to reward you for eating it. Systems that control hunger, systems that control muscle, systems that control how many calories you burn just sitting there digesting your food. We didn't evolve any of that machinery around, say, a bag of chips. We evolved it around protein. And most of us, in a world where protein is now cheap and everywhere, aren't using that machinery on purpose. We're just kind of eating it randomly. So today I want to walk you through 3 things, 3 specific ways protein drives fat loss that have nothing to do with eat less, move more. And I'm going to end with a bonus number, an actual per meal protein target that keeps coming up in the research. So stick around for that one. Quick word on me. I've spent years in clinical practice seeing patients try just about every diet under the sun. And I started this channel because I got tired of watching people struggle with things that have pretty clear answers in the science. Now, I am a physician, but I'm not your physician. I don't know your labs, your history, your medications. So think of this as education, not a personalized medical recommendation, and check in with your own doctor before making big changes. Let's start with the mechanism, because once you get this, the rest just clicks into place. Picture your body as having a kind of internal thermostat for hunger, run by hormones, ghrelin, which basically shouts, "Feed me," and a family of hormones like GLP-1 and PYY that whisper, "Okay, that's enough." Protein is uniquely good at turning down the shout and turning up the whisper. It's like protein has its own volume knob on your appetite that carbs and fat just don't have to the same degree. Point 1. Satiety. When you eat a meal with a solid amount of protein in it, research has shown it suppresses ghrelin more and for longer than an equivalent calorie meal of carbs or fat, and it bumps up those I'm full hormones. In real life, this is the difference between finishing dinner and being fine until breakfast versus finishing dinner and raiding the pantry at 9 p.m. The takeaway: protein isn't just calories, it's a hunger dial you can turn down on purpose. Point 2. The thermic effect of food. Every time you eat, your body burns some calories just digesting and processing that food, and protein is the most expensive macronutrient to break down. Roughly speaking, studies suggest your body burns something like 2 to 3 times more calories digesting protein than it does digesting the same number of calories from fat. Think of it like a toll booth. Protein has a much higher toll to get processed and used than fat does. In daily life, that means 2 meals with the same calorie count aren't actually equal if one is protein heavy. You're quietly burning more just handling it. Takeaway: calories from protein aren't burned quite as efficiently by your body, and that's a good thing when you're trying to lose fat. Point 3, and this might be the one people underrate the most: muscle preservation. When you're in a calorie deficit, your body doesn't know the difference between on purpose and starving. It'll happily burn muscle right alongside fat if you let it, through a process tied to something called muscle protein synthesis, basically the machinery that builds and maintains muscle tissue. Adequate protein, especially protein containing enough of an amino acid called leucine, helps keep that machinery switched on even while you're eating less. It's like protein sends your body a signal that says, "We're dieting, not dying, keep the muscle." Practically, this is why some people lose weight and look softer, while others lose weight and look leaner. Often it's the protein and the resistance training doing that work behind the scenes. Takeaway: enough protein while you're cutting calories helps make sure what you lose is mostly fat, not muscle, which also protects your metabolism long term. Now let's talk about a couple of things that get way more hype than they deserve. Protein shakes right after a workout, the so-called anabolic window. People treat this like it's a 30-minute make-or-break moment. The research on this has really softened over the years. Total protein intake across your day matters far more than nailing some tiny post-workout window. Another one: fat-burning protein bars and powders marketed specifically for belly fat. There's no protein source that targets belly fat specifically. Your body decides where it loses fat from, not the label on your protein bar. And I'll add an honest caveat here. A lot of the satiety and thermic effect research comes from short-term, controlled studies, so how it plays out over months, in your real, messy life, can vary from person to person. Okay, the bonus, as promised. There's a number that keeps showing up across the nutrition research when scientists study exactly how much protein you need in a single sitting to really maximize that muscle-preserving effect. And if I'm remembering the range right, it lands somewhere around 25 to 30 grams per meal for most adults. Less than that, and you're leaving some of that muscle-protecting effect on the table. More than that, and you tend to hit diminishing returns per meal. So rather than fixating only on your total protein for the day, it's worth checking whether you're actually spreading it out, getting a solid dose at breakfast, not just loading it all into dinner. I hope this was helpful. Stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.